Oh, here. What is this? Dave and Katie part 4. Getting wired up for our official video. Starting to look more like an athlete again.
Yeah, I am. Emma put on my hat. Just do it like this.
Turn on our set.
Innovation right here.
Right here. I don't.
Yeah, you just put it on the top of your shirt, it'll be good.
Look even smarter.
If I could have worn my glasses.
Can you look smarter than you are right now?
I could look smarter, but I'm definitely not gonna be smarter. You're gonna talk about how you relate.
You gonna scoot back more? That's why I look smaller than you, because I scoot back further in the background. Lean forward.
Go suck in my gut.
Yeah. God, you look so thin. Have you lost weight since you had since
I
you were
told
here
you,
last?
I paid them $20 to take 20 pounds off. $1 a pound, good investment.
Yeah, we gotta move this chair to your right to make sure that it's symmetrical.
Okay.
Or other way.
Better?
A little bit more. A little bit more.
You know what they're doing? They're taking me out of the picture.
Oh, are you out of it on the?
Look at that. I see. You know, okay, is this better? I'm leaning this way.
Hey, we're recording, man.
Oh, we
We're
are?
live.
Look at that.
Oh, we're live.
Oh, kind of.
Well, hey, folks, I'm trying to fix
You're
this
probably
Katie
a
angle
modeling-
here.
a
She's not a
modeling
videographer.
contest.
I thought
A hand modeling
yes.
contest. For you?
No.
Oh,
It was,
Cooper's
yeah, it was
hand?
nice.
If you guys want to like just get closer,
See?
but just stay.
We can talk about
Keep
how
that right
Preston and I
center.
are hair twins.
Yeah, you all.
I know.
His looks better. No offense.
I know.
Hey.
No
I
offense.
just put more stuff on mine.
Yeah,
Alright.
Pretty far away now. You look so
you know,
thin.
like that on the other video, I thought where you just wore. I thought that
It was good.
yeah
No
for that
makeup, real.
for that because it was a real. We both were like real there.
We're real now.
But you know, like I mean, I was very
Rolling.
vulnerable, and you showed that you worked
True. Yeah.
in different roles. You know.
Yeah. Well, right, than what we are now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's valid. All right, Dave and Katie part 4 coming back at you. Dave can talk more about his journey today with all this stuff. So again, this is for the advocacy piece for all these not only officers, but I'd say frontline workers. So you got nurses, you know, that are really kind of struggling, especially with all the COVID stuff everybody's had to go through with the critical care stuff. Police officers, I think, with the COVID stuff you guys have had to go through as well. But
Firefighters, EMS.
firefighters, yeah, EMS.
Because they're going in houses, you know, and
It's valid.
not knowing whether somebody's been exposed or, you know.
True. And even the grocery store workers,
Yes.
right? Let's not forget the toilet paper pandemic.
Well,
When we
I
ran
think
out of that.
we forget that those jobs are just as valuable and as important as what our jobs are, because without them, there's nowhere to go.
And they were the ones who had to be there.
Yes,
Grocery
they-
stores
yeah,
didn't shut down, right? So they
Yeah.
had to be there even and when people didn't know what we were being exposed to and what we
Sure,
were.
probably the most underappreciated people.
That's valid. Yeah, no, absolutely.
Because, you know,
UPS?
even like, well, you think about it though, the UPS or even fast food restaurants and stuff, you know, they were able to, UPS, leave it at the door, drive through windows at the restaurants. Grocery stores, though, they had no choice.
Mm-hmm.
They had to be in fairly close contact.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because, you know, I mean, some, you know, even though some or most offered curbside pickup, you know, there's still people that wanted to pick up their own groceries.
Yeah.
And you had to have pretty much close quarter contact in order to do that. So I always said that they were,
And even the ones who tried to keep the masks on.
yeah.
Like, but when they wouldn't have the mask on, remember that? Like, it was like at Walmart or something. People were talking about the mask thing.
Yeah.
They're trying to set up the rules or making people wear their mask, and people were threatening people and
It's just
showing their true selves.
It's a different society that we live in, and it's a more, I don't, you know, I'm just going to be Dave. You just be Katie.
the
Well,
Dave and Katie
Yeah.
show. And Oprah, if you're watching,
I don't think she has her show.
he's real.
I don't think she has her show.
You don't think so? Harpo Productions?
Well, I mean, I saw where Judge Judy was retiring. I'm thinking about, I'm not a judge, but I could be
on Judge
I could be impartial.
That's your next career.
No, I've got that. I told you Colombian,
Oh yeah, Colombian drug drug. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, we're here today talking about real issues. Dave, last time was in his uniform. As we all know, he's an active law enforcement officer who's been down a path that a lot of officers don't really talk about much. So Dave's being an advocate for all that stuff. Since last time, Dave,
You're trying to get in front of me right here.
you since last time.
Yeah, I mean, you kept. I leaned forward a little bit, and then you got even closer. I mean, what's up with that?
Since last time, Dave has had a ketamine infusion. That was his whole point, was to show kind of how bad he can actually look before he gets one. The unfortunate thing of it, to show how real the infusions actually are and how effective they are. So if you guys watched the last time, Dave had a lot of anxieties. I mean, you're hopping around everywhere with your hands and your legs, and with the stuttering piece and all that stuff. And it's been how many days since you had it?
I had it last Friday.
Yeah, so
Thursday.
Day
6.
Day 6, yeah. So these infusions, what people get with ketamine is they get an induction series. That's the recommendation, to where people get like so many over the course of 2 to 3 weeks. And then they come back and they get booster infusions as needed. So when they get these boosters, it does take, I always say 3 to 7 days to maximize kind of the effects with all that stuff. So I think, Dave, you can probably tell them a little bit, how you feel today versus how you felt last time.
It's a world difference. First thing is, that's not the worst I've ever been. If so, you can, I had several people commenting about, they didn't so much know that, I got that bad. I've actually been worse. The difference, it's probably my agent. It's actually my chief, and I just didn't answer it. Might be looking for a job here in just a little bit, but
priorities, buddy, priorities.
Yeah. This treatment I had Friday, I don't remember much like coming into it that day, I don't remember much about the interview we had, our part 3 series. I think I somewhat try to protect myself and just go into a different place, but
survival.
Yeah. After this last treatment, stuttering slowed down. Just, I don't know, I probably coming out of the
treatment.
Yeah, just waking up and everything. I could, words were a little easier. I can't remember, was it Sunday or Monday?
Probably Monday.
Was it Monday? Anyways, I panicked a little bit. This was the first time where after a treatment, I still had nightmares. So, first of all, it's not the first time I've ever doubted whether maybe that booster worked. I'm human. I've had it where when I came out of the treatment and went to leave, I felt like, I don't know.
But did I just get beat?
Well, yeah, I've felt that, but I've also felt like $1 million. Like I've just, like everything, it just poof, and
Life's
it was,
okay again.
Yeah, it was all so nice. But this time I had nightmares, and one thing that sort of hurts me is lack of sleep. Lack of sleep tends to bring stuff on. So I went panic mode, and contacted Katie, and she's like, I have to give her credit, and I don't enjoy that. like when she's right, I mean, it's, anyways. But, her first thing was, this could take 5 to 10 days. Let's give it time, let it work. And, Crazy Dave's like, texting back. And I think Monday night I had one, and then since Monday night I've not had any more nightmares. So she was right. And the nervousness, I'm still a little fidgety, which that's not an issue. I don't know that people aren't fidgety every day as far as that goes. But overall, I'd say I'm 85 to 90% back to where I want to be, and that's in 6 days. So I'm looking forward to the next 2 to 3 days of completely balancing out, and I will. As I told you, I won't do that again. I have hard triggers. I recognize hard triggers. Hard triggers takes me to that place quickly, and I quickly get out of that place. This was the choice to slowly go through that process, and once again, she was probably right that not the best thing to be doing, Demi, but I felt strong about it, and the several comments I've gotten, in my opinion, has made that more than worth what I went through, because when I get that way, I'm in a very guarded position where most people don't see me. So it was good for people that know me to see that, and see that I struggle. I do what I can to keep working, and they make sure that they take the best care of me that they can. And this today should show that.
And I think a piece too, Dave, you can talk about if you want, is not everyone who experiences things in life, we all experience them differently. I think you've got more functional things, where you can't sleep and, you're stuttering and stuff like that. I think other people may just not feel right.
Yeah.
Like officers, front line. There's this if you guys get into this woe is me kind of thing, that the world's going to be better off if I'm not here, that is not correct thinking. If you think, oh yeah, and you do. I mean, you can go down, you can hit a trigger, and then you go down this cycle of, to where you start asking subconsciously. So I guess you start asking these questions. The world will be better off. I'm not smart enough. I'm not good enough. Blah blah blah. I'm costing my family too much money. I'm costing my family too many emotions. I'm not a good dad. I'm not, a good mom. Whatever kind of thing. But once you start going down that whole self-deprecating kind of thing, that's not healthy. And I think that's a big piece of it too, with, we do spend a lot of time talking about frontline workers and things like that, but even, kids in the universities and things like that. You guys ever think like, I'm never going to be good enough. I'm not going to be graduate. I don't know if I'm going to be a physician. I don't know if I'm able to do this. I'm just going to be a failure in life. If you start thinking that way, then something's not balanced right in your brain, and you should ask for help. Not everyone has to get to Dave's level to where they say, well, okay, now it's time for me to get help. I mean, that's why Dave's doing a lot of this, is because he's been through a lot of the hellacious aspects of it, to where he's trying to advocate for others to say, listen, this is normal, right? It's not normal. It's common that people's brains go down these paths sometimes, and they should ask for help.
That is so good, because I always call it normal, but it's not normal. It is common though. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Very good. And it what she's saying is very correct, that it's not. You can't help it. If you start down that road, whether you want to or not, you think it. Mm-hmm. And that's where you have to break that pattern. And the quicker you recognize that, or the quicker you're willing to accept that you're there in that pattern, the quicker and the sooner you get out of it.
And you're right, and you just said that's something there too, patterns, right? So in mental health, unfortunately, a lot of times we'll say, oh, it's familial, you have no control over it, all this jazz that they're proving is not correct, to where you actually do have a lot more control in your mental health than what you know. But the fact of the matter is trying to figure out the pattern as to what your mental health's doing. And if you can figure out the pattern, you can get effective options to break the cycle of it, then you get back in control. Dave came in and was like, I mean, yeah, can you control it? No, you can't control that, but you can control breaking. You recognize the pattern to where you can control breaking the pattern. And that's the piece of it is, a lot of people, like Dave said, you can't control when your mind starts going down these negative paths sometimes. That's just, I don't know. It's just what our brains do sometimes, and it's messed up. But it's to recognize it's abnormal. It's common, but it's abnormal.
Yes.
And how do you get effective help for that? Especially now with the mental health world is on such a critical shortage of providers. We all know that.
Yeah, you're very big shortage and a very high demand for them right now because there's more of me than there are of you. I mean,
Well, and the neat
when I
thing
say me, I mean the needing assistance, by someone.
Because you are kind of your own person. There's definitely just one Dave.
There is just one me. Thank goodness. But and what it took a year and a half maybe for us to
figure out your pattern.
Figure out the pattern. I mean, one thing, as we've always talked about, that sort of hurts me is staying in this environment on a daily basis. That, unfortunately, sometimes I'm going to hit triggers faster than what maybe normally would happen or whatever. But we've done pretty good about getting that pattern narrowed down to within,
Figured out. Well, and that's one thing is, I don't know if we mentioned this in the video or not, but I mentioned a lot, 6 weeks. 6 weeks, 6 week cycle with stuff. And I think with a lot of frontline people, they see a 6 to 8 week cycle kind of thing. Once you start getting to that 6 to 8 weeks, it's kind of when people start feeling the changes and stuff. But if you look at a lot of the things, if you're religious or not, they talk about 40 days, in the Bible a lot. That's 6 weeks. You got Lent, 40 days, 6 weeks. If you're on a diet, which clearly Dave and I are all the time with these structured bodies, but
athletic.
They say 6 weeks, right? 6 weeks to don't weigh yourself until you've been on the diet for 6 weeks. Take 6 weeks to change with diets. Take 6 weeks to develop a habit. Take 6 weeks. It's all about 6 weeks. There's something about cycling or hormones. 6 weeks. Your aldosterone, your testosterone, your estrogen, all those guys, cortisols. Those are all 6 week cycles. So everything is kind of, even though we're instantaneous on Amazon and gambling and all this other fun stuff that people enjoy doing, our brain still is every 6 weeks cycle.
You just went on like a 35-second tangent of words.
Commercial.
Words that I had no clue what you were saying. And you were so passionate there that I couldn't stop you to ask you what each one of those words were.
Hormones. Testosterone. You're a man. You know what that means.
Yeah, but there were some other words. If we could rewind right now, I would say, okay, this one or that or whatever. But yeah, I mean, that's cool. 6, because with me, 6 is perfect. 8 is, it's getting on the out, it's the outer realm that we don't, I'm getting to panic a little at 8 weeks. And it's not something I set in my calendar and go, this is 6 weeks. This is when 6 weeks is. I will feel it. And then generally what I will do is I'll go back and look and say, well, when was the last one? And I go,
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right.
Honestly, if you seek help and you receive that help, then you learn about this and you learn to recognize things. And I think that helps you to get in a better position also.
Well, and I think emotional intelligence, emotional analyzation.
Whoa. Never intelligence and me in the same sentence. You're the smart one. You're the intelligent one. I'm the muscles and the good looking one. I mean, but never say intelligent and Dave in the same word. Same sentence. See, look, you see? Same word. See? Proved it. But we're going to go back like this. But I got different shoes on today. I'm a little
You
casual.
could be a foot model.
No, I have ugly toes. Ugly toes. But I do have a shoe addiction, don't I?
You do, yeah. Right, it's like instantaneous. The shoes make you feel better.
They do. I always talk about my shoes. You know, well, what else do I have to talk about? She's the one with the magazine out there at the desk with her face on the front of it. I mean, honestly, what's up with that? And then she goes, oh, did I leave that laying there?
Oh, I'm sorry. Was I reading an article about myself?
Gosh, it's nice to be sitting back here, and I know it's just the
Like 6 days ago.
yeah. I mean,
What? Oh yeah. Well,
and honestly, I'm sorry. I won't do that again. It hurt.
Yeah, but the neat thing is that you know what breaks the cycle. What about the people out there who don't know what to do? They've tried everything. They've tried the meds. They've tried the therapies. They've tried everything, and they don't know what will break it. So I think that's the neat thing about this intervention that they've came up with the ketamine stuff is it's intense, but it breaks it. And you know what? And sometimes people say, "I don't care. Just get me out of it," and it does.
Well, and I think if ever. And I'm sure I'm wrong, but I think if everybody had that mentality, I don't care, just get me out of here, get this out, break this cycle, more people would do it because they wouldn't question it. They would be, I hate to say, they'd be that desperate that they just. But I just know if you just
I
can't
think
not
it's
feel
because
better.
we're so used to people saying that.
You're trying to get in front of me again.
We're so used to people.
Come on. You got a magazine. Give me something.
I'm going to sit behind you next time. I'll just be talking over.
No, you'll be leaning
I'll
over.
be talking over your shoulder. It's Katie back here.
Yeah.
But in mental health, I think that we have been trained to learn to suppress the symptoms, right? A lot of the medications suppress the symptoms to make them manageable. And that's what we do in mental health and behavioral stuff to make it more manageable. Same thing with these neurodegenerative things, with Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and ALS and all this stuff, is we try to make them manageable until they can go into remission or something like that. And the neat thing with ketamine, as you know, it breaks this cycle. And if we can break this cycle, like people, is it something that you have to still be aware of? 100%. You still have to be aware of it. But if you can break the cycle of what's going on, and if it's a slow increase in symptoms, then you can break the cycle again. People get their life back. They get out of the black zone or the red zone. They get to the green zone. They actually get to live. They get to smell the flowers. You get to sleep. It's a reprieve, And it's, I don't know. I don't even know what to compare it to.
Well, my thing always is it's like my wife asked me last night. She's like, well, how do you decide what you decide? It was on going to get my glasses last night versus going to get them this morning.
That's a pretty good question.
And I was like, I don't know. Because I don't know. And I always say, probably if you could just get in my mind for one day, you would probably understand it better. But the thing is, I can't explain it. Mm-hmm. One, because I'm still learning it. Mm-hmm. Every time I think maybe I've got this figured out, I throw myself a monkey wrench. I
self-sabotage.
Yeah. I throw a monkey wrench.
I used to do that in softball. When I was sitting there, they're like, "You're your own worst enemy." I was like, "I don't know why."
It's like in golf. Hit one bad swing. You have one bad swing, you're like, "Oh no, my swing's bad. I'm shanking."
Right.
And it's just a bad swing. But it's also, I think sometimes that competitive drive or whatever can be your worst enemy because, like when we play golf, when we were on the driving range, you were so determined to beat me, and it wasn't possible, but you were so determined that I don't think you performed at your peak performance. Because
Greatness.
and I think for me, sometimes where I want to be back to that normal so bad that I put too much pressure on that instead of just like me panicking Monday. I know that it takes time sometimes, but I still, that wanting to get there so bad, so fast, sometimes it's hard to give it that time to work.
Well, it's weird too.
And I think that's why I've always said I don't know that I've ever had the same kind of, I don't think it's a reaction, but same result from a booster. I think everyone's been a little different, which I think is awesome because that means everyone's did a little something extra in my mind.
Well, but it's also showing that it's not just working on one path, right? So with ketamine, they say it's like the mother or it's not the mother communicator. That's
Why can't it be the father communicator? Why's it got to be the mother?
Men are pretty down one path. You know that.
Wow.
Women much more comfortable.
There went your likes.
This just turned into a female show.
Well, actually, there are more females that watch this. I did a study.
Probably for you.
Well, that's what it was. That's what it was.
But
I understand what you're saying on that, though. Yeah.
They call ketamine the whole brain drug. So every time it's different. That's kind of the neat thing about it is it's not just like eat this apple, eat this apple, eat this apple, and then you get all the apple's vitamins, but you don't have all these other vitamins from your carrots. To where
why can't it have been an orange? I hate carrots.
Both has vitamin C.
But I hate carrots.
Carrots have more vitamin A in them.
Yucky.
But there's a reason
Yeah, right.
I use the carrot
That's
and
what I'm
apple.
talking about.
But ketamine, every time you go and get it, and now if you went and got it week to week to week to week to week, it's eventually going to stop working because it's not fixing anything. You wait until you need to come back and it fixes what needs to be fixed. Every time it's a little bit different, yes, because there's probably another venue of what this whole brain drug is doing.
Now, let me ask you this, and you decide whether we talk about this or not, because, but I had Dina there with me, and she's there for a particular reason, and I asked you, is it not better sometimes to go as deep as you can go in the brain? And you had a response. Because one, I didn't understand or wasn't in the right place up here to understand it, but you don't try to take on the whole world at one time when you're tackling the brain, do you?
No, and that's one piece of it is sometimes, I guess when people say clean your slate or unstack your traumas or whatever they say, kind of thing, you don't have to unstack everything. I mean, I don't have to understand exactly why I made a B when I was in third grade in order to, I know.
You made a B?
Third grade.
I'd be so proud of that.
I got grounded. But anyway, I do
Really?
remember that.
Wow. Do you know I would have never left my house if I got grounded for a B?
I had high expectations.
My mom did too.
But I don't even remember what subject it was in or whatever else, kind of
You
thing.
don't?
Mm-mm.
I think I would remember. Is that your only B?
That was my first one.
Oh, in the third
Then it
grade.
was just downhill.
See, you got to start at kindergarten if you'd go ahead and make it unsatisfactory. It's only up from there.
Low expectations.
Yeah.
Serenity.
Yeah.
But you don't have to remember every detail of everything in order to process it, right? Because grossly, and that's the thing about it too. So if we talk about like addiction stuff, if you guys know anything about addiction medicine or things like that, or if you talk to people who are in recovery, what our brain does is really interesting. And I'm sure people have better words than I do with this stuff, but how when you go back and you say, I just want to go back when I was normal.
Yes.
That's such a sense of everything was great.
It wasn't.
And it wasn't.
No.
Right.
No,
but some people will go back and they'll say, but we remember only the good or only the bad. And when I say addiction medicine, people will be like, oh, I remember how that drug would make me feel back then. But but they forget about when their kids got taken away from them or whatever.
Do you
else
see
like
your
that.
phone?
Uh-huh.
It's like every 2 seconds, message. Does that not bother you?
Yeah.
See, that's the. I mean, I just want to hit it.
They're probably asking for an autograph for my magazine thing that you got out there. The next one's gonna have you on the cover.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but what you were saying, yeah.
I was saying we skew the memories the way we want to skew them.
Right. Right.
Good or bad.
Yeah, and I think like for me, when I start getting, but here's where when I start my downward trend that's the only way I know to call it. All I see is negative. Mm-hmm. Like there is no positive. Even when there is a positive, I will not allow it to be a positive. Mm-hmm.
And that's interesting. It's like that Indian parable or whatever, where the guy.
Like I would have a clue what you're even about to say.
You might.
No.
But where they say, what is it? A grandson goes to his grandfather and says something about how do I know if I'm going to grow up and be a good person or a bad person? Because our brains don't recognize good and bad, right and wrong, right? They don't. It's the way we condition them. But grandkid goes to the grandfather. How do I know if I'm going to be a good person when I grow up? And he said, well, we've got 2 wolves inside of us, one good, one bad. It depends on which one you feed, kind of thing.
Oh, that's cool, but I never had heard of that.
See, it's pretty simple, isn't it? Wolves.
Yeah, it is,
wolf,
but I
wolf?
still wonder why you thought I might actually knew what you was talking about.
You're smarter than you know. Smarter than a 5th grader.
Oh, no. My oldest daughter she made the dean's list. And then I looked at her and I said, I made the dean's list once. And she looked at me and she just, no, you didn't. She was right. I didn't even come close. But, I tried. But for me, it just feels so much better. But this was a long process. Mm-hmm. I mean, it has been. It's
well, it's been something that you've been wanting to do for a long time, though, and you did it.
Yeah, but I don't know. I truly got lucky finding Revitalist, because Revitalist is not beside my house. It's not in the same city I'm in. It took a lady, because I don't know whether I can mention her name or not. EMDR.
Mention her first name. Yes, if you want to.
Well, I don't know whether I should or not.
No, that's
I mean,
Lady
but
EMDR. Her name was Lady. That
was, I guess, progressive thinking.
Mm-hmm. Valid. Yeah.
Yeah. Who, after a few of our meetings, said, I just got sick from doing the EMDR. It's a great thing, but I just had issues with it. But she put me with Revitalist because she's thinking ahead. She's not set in old ways, which I think I think that's what I ran into to begin with is, let's just stick you on this first medicine right here, give it, 6 months and then we'll readjust or whatever. It can't be that way. I mean, medicine does help some people. Right. But
I think if it's I don't think
you can,
based,
but I just don't think hard. You go in with that same mindset every day. You have to go in with that mindset like you do here of, I honestly think after we got to know each other and you got to know more about my experiences and traumas and stuff, I think you were always planning ahead. It seemed like if I had a question, you already had the answer. And I know you're smart, but you're not always that smart. So I think you don't rest.
I like to find solutions.
Yeah, that's what you don't rest. You're yeah.
Well, that's why all these revitalists are coming up now, because we're going to find solutions with people that are way smarter than me.
I'm not mad.
I just keep smiling with them.
Oh, I've not met. I mean, you're right up there.
There's people that are like me out there, believe it or not. Might be good or bad.
I believe that. It's just, and what you're doing, we have to make more of them available.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, it's a blessing for me because y'all were an hour and a half away from me.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I mean, I had a great lady back here, Tracy, that went above and beyond to be willing to go outside of the general area and find someone.
Yeah.
And I just I'm just very fortunate. And I will say this, you're the one that has to start the process. No one can start it for you. And no matter how many times somebody tells you you need it, you're ready for whatever. I honestly feel like until you are ready, it doesn't matter. I mean,
Well, and I think too, you got to find people that can advocate for you. So you're a big advocate for yourself, but then you also had people along your way that helped you advocate as well.
Somebody didn't let me finish my little statement that I was working on. She wanted to pop in there and think that she was smarter. But what I was going to say but one thing you need to do is make sure you have a great support group. Period. And I might be wrong on this, but for me, I'm very fortunate. Other than your family, my family is very, very supportive. But I like having my support group that I'm not related to, because they don't care to hurt my feelings, or they can say what they need to say to me, and they don't have to worry about being in the same house with me the rest of the day. Where Angry Dave comes out or whatever. So I 100%, you have to have that support group. And I say group, it can be 2 people, it can be 5 people or whatever, but you got to have it.
Somebody can be vulnerable too.
Yeah. And I've always said with Revitalists, I was never judged the first day from the first day I walked in. And I think that's whether you are being or aren't being, you automatically feel like you are being judged. Most of the time when you walk in to pick up any type of medicine that deals with mental health and stuff like that. And I just, I was I didn't have that at Revitalist. And part of it, I was in dire shape our first meeting.
Yeah, but when you're in dire shape like that too, I think you're more sensitive of what.
Sure, yeah.
And that's the point
then you
of all
take
these.
the police sense, and
how people don't like
judge.
that.
Well, and then I think you're somewhat you learn to judge character better.
I got you.
And Ashley, I walk in, she smiles right away. I'm like, oh, okay. Most of the time most of the time it's like insurance card, your ID please. And she just smiled. I'm like, okay, well, I'm welcome here at least. And then it was just it was non-doctor. It's
called an enriched environment.
It's non-doctor, kind of, but now I do remember last Friday just asking, could we go back over to the other building?
The little tiny shack we started in 2018. We've now grown into.
She always brings up the date because I disagree with her on when I went to see her. And so she'll bring up they were over there in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Whatever. But I mean, honestly, that's people take that for granted. That I think, like, and I don't know. I don't want to step on anybody's toes, but you go to doctor's offices and stuff, and they just take it for granted that you're there to get a shot or whatever, blah blah blah, and that's it. I'm there because I trust that person, because I feel comfortable with that person and I feel comfortable in that area. And if I don't, I won't be there. You know, I don't care what ketamine.
Right.
I don't care what ketamine would have done for me. If I didn't feel comfortable being there, I would not have come back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wouldn't have. It's just the bullheaded, whatever you want to call it. But if I didn't feel safe and comfortable, there's no way I would have come back.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's the piece that we want to do too, is to make sure that, I think in medicine we have lost a lot of that community. We've institutionalized, we've increased the quantity of, all this other stuff to where we've lost community and we've lost hearing people and validating them.
Sure, but also you've been overwhelmed with the amount of people. I mean, it's pandemic. This pandemic really wrenched up. It flooded a system that was already maxed.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's a piece. So yeah, with the Revitalists, all them opening up, then there'll be something to where we can not only help the people, but also help their colleagues, their medical colleagues, because they're people too. And unfortunately, they look at us, they look at this as a machine, and it probably pretty much is. But there are some emotions sometimes with this machine.
For everybody out there that actually looks at her like a machine, y'all need help.
But it's true. Like anesthesia wise, you show up 2 a.m. in the hospital to do a case or whatever.
The thing is,
police officers too.
I completely agree with you, because I have commented to you. You need to slow down. Because I worry about you. I might be selfish, but
you gotta go fast if you're gonna change the world, right?
But you can't kill yourself in the process.
That's true.
And I did. I got a little concerned because I'm fortunate enough to. I got to see you at the Slow Katie, sitting like this in the
sometimes
chair
I may not have the best posture.
Across from me.
When I played sports and I'd come out, my hips would be sore, so I'd have my hips out. People thought I was walking like in a cocky stance, but really I was trying to relax my hips.
Well, I consider that as I call it bonding. You were getting to know me, I was getting to know you, and it was very relaxed. And what I've noticed is that now, from where you're a CEO, it is more posture setting up like this. You'll slide your little glasses down, because she'll wear glasses sometimes just to make it look like she's smart.
I do have those filtered glasses.
I worry because you tackle on everything 100%.
Mm-hmm. It's good though. Go big or go home, buddy.
Well, you don't go home till late at night. So, but yeah, I agree. I mean, well, I'm right there with you. I would have never went to the depths of depression that I did to do this
unless you didn't think it was for a bigger cause.
I
think that's probably the biggest piece, is we're doing it for bigger than ourselves.
We are unselfish.
Mm-hmm. Except when he pulls up the magazine with my picture on the front.
right when you walk in. Literally, I walk in and I'm like, hi guys.
Who is this?
And it's not like I hadn't seen it, because I had.
Great magazine though, produced by Ketamine Media. We know what they're doing.
Behind the scenes, you don't get to see the boys back here, but
brilliance.
And they were on time today.
Low expectations.
Do you want to explain that?
I was late.
Yeah. Is that just late, or like real late?
Was that?
Like this was going to be done at 8:30 this morning, guys.
Oh, whatever. I was 10 minutes late. It's traffic.
10.
20.
Well, to 10. Well, first of all, same route you were on. It's the exact same route you were on coming up here. There was no traffic.
See there?
5 minutes. Brown noser.
Next show will be Katie and Preston. Dave will be no longer in the shows. Katie and Preston, how ketamine media is changing the world.
Well, they see it first. they do see it firsthand.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, they do. It's I guess the unfortunate thing is most people who walk out of Revitalist after a treatment or whatever, it's just not something you share. It's not like say we know this certain heart doctor, and when he does perform a surgery, and that person, everybody knows it.
That's true.
And they're like, man,
They're part of the Zipper Club.
he is awesome.
And they're very proud of their scars.
Right.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, I hope one day to be proud of my scars.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
That's good.
I do, but we have to have people that are willing to talk, because it's not something that, like
Otherwise
I said,
it's isolating.
yeah. Otherwise, nobody does know, hey, this is what happened. Like I said with heart surgeon, the heart surgery, they know, because one, they're alive, and two, if they're not in the hospital, it means it worked. And with me, if I didn't feel strong about this, I would leave out of there. I would start feeling better, and nobody would know what happened.
No,
Nobody,
you're right. I mean,
nobody would know.
I think that's a really good point, though. When you're talking about proud of scars, I mean, I've got a few scars. I've had some motorcycle wrecks and softball stuff and burns, and I'm proud of my scars because it shows how physically tough I was at that time. But I can see the mental scars too.
With you,
that's what makes you strong.
With you plus like me, you've received a lot of training over your lifetime for what you do. Mm-hmm. I've received a lot of training over my lifetime for what I do. But there's no way to train you or I or anyone else for some of the horrific things that you see. Mm-hmm. Period. And that's the unfortunate thing. There's no training for that. So we've got to make training for after that.
Mm-hmm. You're right. Recovery.
Yeah.
And maybe that's, everybody's in recovery with addiction medicine, so maybe we get in recovery over mental health stuff or something.
We got to.
Thriving, recovery.
I think it's recovery.
Show your scars.
Yeah, I think maybe if we become proud of them instead of afraid or embarrassed by them, then we conquer them.
Mm-hmm. I think it's pretty good when you said be proud of your scars. You're right though.
Because
you're so insightful. I won't say intelligent anymore. I want to say insightful.
Thank you, because I was going to say,
argue that one.
I guess I think I used to have a problem with always wanting to apologize. I felt guilty.
Yeah, that's true.
I felt guilty for some things that have happened at work that I had absolutely no control over. But it doesn't mean that I don't think that if I could have been there a little faster or did something a little different, that maybe it could have made a difference. I think that's human nature to feel that way. I just wouldn't let it go. And I'm hoping that the more I learn about mental wellness and health, the
stronger your brain becomes.
Yeah, the more I think
mental strength.
I think you're building stuff, confidence, whatever, in me to not have to rely on everybody for everything when it comes to mental health. I'm learning to work myself through some things versus automatically going, hey, this is going on, what do you think? If I did that, at one point I would have been bothering you or Kate or Tracy or somebody every 13 seconds. Mm-hmm. So I think, but it's just so slow. Mm-hmm. That's, I think, for us athletic people like you and I, that's just something that's just not good.
Yeah.
We
like to get there quick.
Get there. If you ain't first, what?
You're last.
Yeah, exactly. There is no second. Second is the first loser. It's not true. Not true. But we're not handing out participation trophies here today. Just so you know. You earned that trophy.
It's true. You earned those scars. We need to get shirts like that. Some said something about scars.
Listen, I just need a collared shirt. I got to rep the collared shirt. You know, I go to some of these real fancy golf courses, you know, and they don't let me wear
Your t-shirt.
my shirt like this.
Fist bumps.
Fist bumps. They won't let me wear it. So I
People can get these t-shirts for
oh yeah, and
$15.
and what happens with the donation?
Goes straight to community change.
Boom!
We've got a lot. We've got a lot of t-shirts actually.
Do you?
Revitalist, Revitalist
Oh.
and community change. They all go to the same source.
Yeah, yes. Well, I'm gonna be honest. I was trying to think if I wore my Revitalist.
We probably should do a runway show with our t-shirts. You could wear them. They'd probably get millions of dollars.
It could. I mean, yeah, it very well could. And I don't care. I'll shave my head like after the first 2 model appearances so that you think you're looking at another hot model. You know, I don't have a problem doing that, you know. But that is a great way to get a nice looking, comfortable shirt and help out something
And
at the
still
same time.
contribute to the health of your community and your fellow patrons.
And what is Revitalist community?
Everyone.
The state of Tennessee, isn't it?
What? Revitalist is in Tennessee right now, but
Yeah.
we're also
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Kentucky.
That's what I'm saying, though. What is Revital? It's not just the surrounding area.
Oh, I hear
It's
you.
the whole state.
It's
Whatever
everywhere.
whatever
We're going
state,
big, Dave.
but whatever state Revitalist is in, Revitalist is taking care of that state. You don't have to live 45 minutes away. You can come from across state with open arms.
You're right. It's true.
But
All
being
about
a
love, acceptance, encouragement.
being
you
a
know what?
diehard Tennessee fan, you Kentucky people can go to the one in Kentucky.
Even though you got your blue Kentucky gear on today.
This is Revitalist
It's true.
and Community Change
You got a blue
Blue.
hat on too.
This is Belton Dragons. I represent the Belton Dragons.
It's Baileyton.
Belton. If you say Baileyton, that means you're a foreigner.
Really?
No, I'm dead serious.
Belton.
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 Yeah, you walk in the exit 36 off the interstate.
Baileyton. And I say Baileyton, they'll know I'm not from here.
You better not say Belton. Or Baileyton. I can't even say Baileyton.
That's why they say Belton.
It's Belton. But that's where I've never told you the story about my 2 back-to-back championship seasons with Pee Wee and Midget Saturday League coaching. Me and Callie, coaches, went back-to-back. I took my daughters to 2 championships as the coach. I'm a winner.
That's why you wore your hat.
Belton Dragons. I'm loyal
to
to the
Dragons.
T. I'm loyal to the T. That is me.
Tennessee, yes. Loyal to the Tennessee team.
Well, no, no, you just got that on. She's not as smart as what I thought she was. When I say, there's that phone again. When I say loyal to the T, I mean, that means if
Loyalty.
I've got your back.
Oh, I got you.
You know, I told you I'm not comfortable burying, a certain thing. Because, you can go to jail for a long time. But if you need it done, I'll figure out a way.
I'm just trying to keep up with the conversation now.
I feel great.
You do.
I think that I'm just so random because
live comedy's coming up after this.
But that's when I feel great. This is me.
That's you, yeah.
I just want to. I feel great.
Mm-hmm. It's cool.
Yeah.
Well, and the whole point of this, remember, is to show
this is 6
that
days.
this is real.
Yeah, and it's 6 days. I'm not there yet. I mean, honestly, I'm dead serious because I don't. I've stuttered just a little bit. I don't know if anybody's caught my fingers moving because I still get a little antsy. And when was it like at work yesterday, I caught myself just, and I do that when I get a little nervous or whatever. That's why I say I'm 80%. I'm not there yet, but this, 80% is awesome. 100% is unreal, but man, compared to last Thursday evening before I got there Friday
It
morning.
resets you, and that gives you the ability to keep pushing through until you and wanting, getting better.
Oh, there's
you can go on vacation and you can appreciate it. You can enjoy vacation.
Oh, I'm going to the beach Friday.
Nice. Right.
Maybe you're going to Photoshop me. You'll see some beach pictures of me next week. I'm really not there. It's photoshopping. But I asked if she would do that, so at least I felt like I was on vacation. And that was another thing. And you have smartly and rightfully exposed me to other individuals that can give me a treatment, because I honestly had fear. I was always fearful. What if she was gone and I couldn't get that, and I was in a bad place? Because I feel very vulnerable when I'm getting my treatment. So it's a trust thing with me.
Well, and that's the point of it, is extending the community to where people do feel like somebody in Kentucky would have the same consistency as somebody in Knoxville.
If I was in Kentucky, I'm not gonna. Yeah, actually, I got relatives. I'm not gonna harp on Kentucky because my dad was from Kentucky. But yes, if I had to go to Kentucky for
Louisville, the Derby.
If I had to go to Kentucky, let me know when you're done, Katie. If I had to go to Kentucky for any amount of time, or even like 3 days, and I got triggered so bad,
sure,
I would have absolutely no hesitation or feel uncomfortable going to that location in Kentucky, because I know I'm not going to know those people, but they're not going to be working there if they're not supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. And that's the point of all
and
this.
It's bravo.
Wherever,
you're going to get the same experience no matter which revitalist you go into.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Different person, but same experience.
Yeah.
And ultimately, that's the whole goal.
Same model.
Is to get the same experience.
All that.
You're not going to maybe run into me probably and go, who's that hot dude over there?
Probably.
You're probably not going to in Kentucky or even Chattanooga. Or where's the next one?
I had those comments back in the day. You're the only 10 I see. Can't do that with Kentucky.
I've never had that, because they could never get anything to rhyme with 11. I've had people say, am I in heaven because you're an 11? I've had that. But, but the next one's not, is the next one not close to here, right?
What?
The next revivalist.
Where that opens?
Yeah.
Raleigh.
Oh, that's not too terrible.
I know, Raleigh's nice.
Yeah.
Raleigh, Bethesda, Maryland.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking. That's not the next one.
And then right outside of
Raleigh's
Detroit?
the next one.
Detroit, Michigan.
Raleigh's the next one now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But I could go to Maryland. If I go to Maryland and get some. There's your phone again. There's some crabs. Get some of them crabs up there in Maryland.
There you go.
Yeah, I might go up there to do that, and then boom, episode. Bam, revivalist, right there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll come back and tell Katie about
care.
the people I met there.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
And how well we did at hiring all these awesome people to maintain the quality
Because
that we want to.
What are you doing before you hire that person? Where do you hire them from?
A lot of them have the similar background.
But where do you talk to them at?
Through national groups kind of thing, and then we talk to them one-on-one, and a lot of them have already came down to Knoxville and training there with us. We've got people in Chattanooga and St. Pete, Florida, people training right now down in Knoxville. So
I do like St. Pete.
We're training a lot of the good ones. We got Jacksonville.
You got a store down there? Or a clinic down there?
We're going to.
St. Pete?
You got Jacksonville, St. Pete.
You're going to have to fly me
Palm
down there.
Beach.
I need to be at that grand opening. In St. Pete,
Done.
somewhere around there. Yeah.
Destinations, right?
Love that place.
No better to get for your mental health.
Why do you keep? I'm almost about ready to fall out of the seat. You just keep edging more forward. Look at this. Six days.
Go more forward.
6 days.
I know. Look at you. Next
honestly,
thing he's gonna be tap dancing next door.
No. I'm gonna go to Greg's Pizza.
He's done.
My wellness director, Tracy, which you've talked to on the phone and stuff, and you know what wellness is, right?
Greg's Pizza?
Not to her, it's not.
Oh,
No, but being a lot like Revitalist, she understands there's people like me that just will not eat vegetables. So I talked to her on the phone right before I come in here, and she's like, "Have you got your pizza yet?" And I'm like,
The
"No."
tomatoes.
I tried. No, I've tried that.
Tomatoes
She doesn't.
are good for
She
prostate
doesn't. You know that comment right there.
I told my husband that the other day.
Between two individuals at my work that you have met in the golf from the golf tournaments, what they're going to start talk. Why did you do that? You remember the little lunch and learn that you had with our city, with the city, and you mentioned a certain thing, and that
I said a lot of people are anal on details, and some people pick up on small words.
Well, no, cops, police, law enforcement.
Cooked tomatoes, prostate.
Have a tendency, we have to have a different type of humor and stuff to a certain extent because you couldn't deal with everything you see. You know, that's the bottom line. And you just give them ammunition to pummel me. Yeah. You just did it, superhero.
Well, we'll see if they actually watched the entire hour of our show today.
Anyways, yeah, that's probably, that's a little long. I might take a nap watching it. But the whole thing is I'm going to get Greg's Pizza here in a few minutes.
So, on that, Dave can go get his Greg's.
Let me get
Greg's Pizza.
6 days.
6 days. He looks like $1 million. Does it work? This man right here shows you that, yes, you can improve in your symptoms. If you feel like you're in hell with your mental health, let him be an advocate for you.
Yeah, 100%. I hope, and I think it did make a difference. You seeing the before, you seeing the before, and you seeing this after, because you won't see it again. And I won't put myself through that again, because it's not a good place to be, and it's a place I don't need to be. But it's all, I'm not ashamed of it either. Mm-hmm. I didn't have control over it. You don't control people, and in my job, you can't keep most things from happening. Something bad happens, and unfortunately I didn't learn that before this happened. I took it personal, or I put it back in my mind until it finally caught up. And so we're learning.
That's all we can do.
We're learning. We're changing the world.
Changing the world, one person at a time.
One. You don't have to be greedy. One at a time.
One at a time. All right.
Gives us a job security. I mean, think about it. If we did 500 at a time, we'd be out of a job in a while. Yeah. I'd like to thank the guys back there for putting up with Katie. She was late. Time is money, boys.
So this will conclude our part 4. And who knows what we'll bring with you to part 5. But if you have any questions, want to send flowers, send a card, send him chocolate, send him some bourbon.
Maybe a bathing suit edition next.
A bathing suit.
Yeah, next time. It's summertime. Everybody
runway.
pool.
We can do a t-shirt runway. Shoot.
I like that. Yeah, because you know what? I need some more t-shirts.
That's true.
How many colors we got?
What?
I only have 2.
We'll get more.
All right. Bye, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Questions?
Katie, close it out.
Here. I'm here. Give us a call or visit us, revitalistclinic.com or revitalist.com, or call somebody, look it up. Call Dave. Always there for you any way they can be. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.